Hey, what's up guys? It's Lucas and you're watching Fine Tuning. If you've watched my channel for a long time, you probably see this guitar and think, well, that's weird. That doesn't look like a guitar Lucas would play. And you're right. This is a 1989 Ibanez 540R, and the R stands for Radius. Now, you may look at this body and go, that's the Joe Satriani guitar. And you're also kind of right. So just a brief history real quick to cover that. The Ibanez Radius guitars came out at the same time as a few other of their models, like the 540P and the 540T and the 540B. Those all kind of different delineations of a similar kind of idea. But they all came out, I think, in 1987, and the Radius guitar ran from, I think, 87 until either 93 or maybe 94. I'm not 100% sure on that. If somebody knows, let me know in the comments. But somewhere in that neighborhood. They're all made in Japan guitars, and they have this kind of unique sort of aerofoil body shape. It's extremely low profile. It's very ergonomic and comfortable. It's hyper lightweight, made of basswood. Super cool guitar. Now, Satriani, of course, is one of the guys that's playing this guitar as an Ibanez endorsee in the late 80s. And when they decide to go and do his signature model guitar, they sort of take this body shape and they change a bunch of stuff about the rest of the guitar. They change the tremolo and the pickup sets and where the jack goes and the neck profile and all kinds of stuff. But it starts with this body shape. So that's why this looks familiar, because this is definitely the precursor to the Satriani guitar. So I'll kind of loosely cover the specs of this guitar because this is an 89 model, but each year model of the guitar is kind of slightly different. Like they have some different specifications and aesthetic choices and paint jobs and stuff like that. So they're all a little different. As far as I know, they're all made of basswood and have maple necks and rosewood fingerboards. But this one is an HSS model. It has a 5-way switch and a master volume and a master tone. My guitars were all kind of in various states of non-stock, so I just sort of go through it and do some stuff to them. They have a pretty thin neck, but it's not wizard thin. I think this is maybe the ultra neck profile, so it kind of just feels like a really thin Strat neck, if that makes sense. Pretty good size frets. It's got the original edge tremolo on it. I believe the pickups that came stock in these were DiMarzio pickups that were made for Ibanez. Almost none of my guitars had any of the stock stuff with them, so I'm not 100% sure on any of that. So how did I get into these guitars? Well, it actually started with this one. I have a friend, Ruben, who's a good buddy of mine, and he hooks me up with a lot of my coolest stuff. He had one of these that I guess had gotten in a trade or something, but he had it posted on a Facebook Marketplace listing, and I saw it, and I like texted him about it, and I was like, hey, you want to trade me that thing? So he brought it over, and we worked something out, and I just became immediately enamored with the guitar. It just played so well, and it sounded great, and it stayed in tune like a boss, and that's really important actually right there. Lately, for the past year or something, I have been having to do a lot of outdoor gigs. And I don't love doing outdoor gigs in general, but the main reason is that it's really hard to keep your guitar in tune where I live because it's hot and it's humid and the weather fluctuates like on a dime. It's nuts. So the double locking trim seemed like a pretty good way to try and keep the guitar in tune for more than like a song at a time. And it does, that absolutely works. I became so enamored with the guitar that I started using it a lot to gig because we were doing all these outdoor gigs. And then I realized, well, like, yeah, that's awesome, but I have about half the set of these songs that I play with these guys are in standard tuning, and the other half is in drop D. So with a guitar like this, it's a pain to have to, you know, tune it down to D and then tune it back up and stuff. It's just like a huge pain in the butt. So I thought, I need another one, of course. I need a second guitar. Same thing, I want it to be identical just so that I can have one in drop D. So that led me down the rabbit hole to finding the red one. Now at the same time, before I actually got the red one, I was sort of shopping for these things, and I had posted a couple of maybe like Instagram clips or something of the blue one of me playing it. And Facebook friend of mine, Frank Falbo, who you might know as the guitar tech for Steve Stevens, among other things. Also, I think he invented the P-rails, which is like the coolest thing ever. I love those pickups. Side tangent. Anyway, he hit me up and was like, hey man, I love those guitars. I collect them. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Do you want to sell me one? And gracious as he is, he was like, yeah, I'll sell you one. I have a whole bunch. So I ended up getting to be kind of like in the know more about this Radius stuff from Frank because he's really knowledgeable about all these guitars. So Frank actually sold me this one, which is incredibly cool. This is an 87, so this is the first year of production, and it's got the little mini toggles for the pickups here instead of the 5-way switch. And the fret dot inlays are a little smaller and some little different stuff like that. But this is a fantastic sounding guitar. But at the same time, I'd already like kind of just bought this. So I was like, all right, well, I'll have 3. And I was able to get 3 of them because despite the fact that they're incredibly high quality made in Japan guitars, they just don't have the name that maybe some of the other guitars do, like a classic RG or a Universe or something. They just don't have the name, so they're not that expensive, which I may be ruining by making this video. I did this with Grecos by accident too, so sorry to all the people that love Grecos. Let me just go ahead and address that one dude that's click-clacking away in the comments right now. No, the guitars are not stock. They couldn't be because I bought all 3 of them in various states of missing parts or electronics or things weren't working or whatever. And I knew that going into it, and that's fine. I was more concerned about the guts of the guitar, and I will supply the things that are missing or repair the things that are broken. So all these guitars have essentially the same electronics and everything now, and a couple little extra mods. So let me just go over that real quick. So first of all, the big thing is they all got new pots because the pots were all in various states of old or scratchy or not working or whatever. So they all got new Bourne's 250K pots. They have treble bleeds on the volume control because that's the thing I do. New 5-way switches for the 2 that have the 5-ways. The pickups, they are the same in all 3 guitars, but they are not the stock pickups. The one I got from Frank, he sold it to me with no pickups in it, so I had to supply my own pickups for that. These 2 had like one that was original and then maybe one that was not and one that was missing and, you know, just various states of whatever. So what I did is to keep with that sort of 80s spirit, to keep the sort of guitar in its sort of original type thing, is I went with the DiMarzio pickups because that's kind of what these guitars had. But I went with my preferred DiMarzio pickups for this sort of setup, which is the Andy Timmons set. So it's the AT1 and 2 Cruiser bridge models. So they all 3 have the same pickups. Also, I discovered that one of these guitars, when I bought it, had a triple shot ring for the bridge pickup. It wasn't the stock pickup, but it was a triple shot ring. And I thought, that's a really cool idea to give you some extra tones. So I went ahead and did that to the other guitars as well. So all 3 guitars have got volume, tone, either a 5-way switch or the little mini toggles. They have the Andy Timmons DiMarzio pickups, so AT1, Cruiser Bridge, and then the AT1 has the the triple shot ring that they designed for the P-rails, and that allows me to do different versions of the bridge pickup without having to do any wiring stuff down here. As far as the tremolo is concerned, it's completely original other than I replaced the bars on all of them. This is the Red Bishop Magic Arm, which was actually a very cool recommendation from Frank. It is a push-in or pull-out, whatever you want to describe it, bar, but it allows you to kind of tighten the collar on it so you can, determine how easy it is to move the bar around. It's really high-quality bar. And then everything else, other than some strap locks, is just as stock as I could keep it reasonably. The main guts of the guitar are the same. Didn't change any pieces of the tremolo or the nut or the tuners or any of that kind of stuff. So I just changed or replaced what needed to be changed or replaced. You guys don't know this because I edit it down to only the good parts, but it just took me like 40 some minutes to just record that handful of little clips there because I kept getting phone calls. It is what it is. You get what you get there. This is such a cool guitar in general and also design. I think these Radius guitars are awesome. I think they're sort of unsung heroes of that late 80s sort of shred area. And as I said, they're kind of inexpensive for what they are. So if you're looking for something cool and shreddy that has the kind of ergonomics and has this whole look and vibe about it, then check these out, man. They're on eBay and Reverb, and there's a lot of great sellers in Japan that have these guitars that you can buy and have them shipped to the US or wherever you are. And they do a fantastic job packing and shipping that stuff. So, don't let that throw you off if they're in Japan or something. These are outstandingly cool guitars, and I'm so thrilled to have 3 of them now because they're just a lot of fun to play and they're super dependable. They stay in tune great and they're just mega cool guitars. They kind of get out of your way. So anything that I do mess up wise is on me, not the guitar. All right, well, thank you guys for sticking around and watching till the end. And if you've hung around this long, I have a question for you guys. Is there any other guitars kind of like this that are sort of on the DL that I don't know about that I need to be checking out that are, old 80s guitars or 70s guitars or whatever, something really cool and special that you feel like people don't know about? Drop it in the comments and let me know. Let us all know. And until next time, I will catch you later.